Mastermind killed. Paris confirms that the ringleader behind Friday's attacks has been killed. The security measures ahead.
They've done a lot of good work now in the past few days with getting, capturing the attackers and all.
And how one USC student headed to Paris feels about her safety. Growing costs. New totals for flood damage emerge, higher than ever. Where will that money come from, and when will Columbia be back to normal? Giving thanks. 1 week from Thanksgiving, one local shelter is asking the community to help feed their neighbors. Why this Thanksgiving is especially important for everyone to come together. All this and more, coming up now on Carolina News.
Live from the capital city, Carolina News brings you your news first. With breaking news and in-depth reporting. Up-to-the-minute weather. And all your sports news and highlights. It's all here, now, on.
The House has approved new refugee rules this afternoon. The new rules suspend the program President Obama had created that would let Syrian and Iraqi refugees into the country. The vote was overwhelmingly in favor of not allowing them in a 289 to 137 vote. So overwhelmingly that any veto from the president would be overruled. Hello and welcome to Carolina News. I'm Nicole Ryder.
And I'm Madison Kello. Thank you for joining us. An update on the terrorist attack on Paris. French officials have confirmed that the mastermind behind the attacks has been killed.
Abdelhamid Abaoud was killed in the raid carried out by police yesterday morning. Our Abby O'Brien has been tracking this story since it broke and has more in the newsroom. Abby?
That's right, Nicole. We can now officially say that Abdelhamid Abaoud is dead. This comes after police received a tip that Abaoud was in France after passing through Greece. Gunfire broke out on Wednesday morning as 8 police forces moved into the French suburb of Saint-Denis. Their target was an apartment where they believed Abdelhamid Abaoud, the alleged ringleader of the attacks in Paris, was staying. Wednesday's raid lasted 7 hours, and it's estimated that around 5,000 bullets were fired. They pulled out 2 bodies from the scene, but they were so mangled that further DNA tests had to be done. But today it was confirmed that Abaoud was killed after being identified by his fingerprints. Back at home, USC student Olivia Jewell said she's moving to Paris in a month, but she's not concerned.
Right now the security it's probably the safest place in the world to be, honestly, right now, with the amount of security they have, and I'm really confident in knowing that they're going to keep it safe and secure for everyone.
And she's impressed with how the French government has reacted.
They've done a lot of good work now in the past few days with getting, capturing the attackers and all the things.
President Francois Hollande said they are going to do whatever it takes to fight back.
These actions confirm to us once again that we are at war. A war against terrorism, which itself has decided to bring war to us.
Hollande also announced that he wants the state of emergency in France to be extended until February. Friday's attacks on Paris left 129 people dead and hundreds injured. And now that Abaoud's death is confirmed, the next question is, how did he get into Paris in the first place? We will continue to follow this story, but for now, reporting live in the newsroom, I'm Abby O'Brien.
Thanks, Abby. Continuing to follow these attacks, ISIS released a new video last night threatening an attack on New York City. The video shows Times Square and what appears to be a bomber putting what looks like a bomb in his jacket. NYPD has acknowledged the video, releasing additional numbers of the new anti-terrorism squad for extra caution. But officials say they're being careful about how seriously they take the video, saying ISIS wants to intimidate, so they will not submit to the terrorists' wishes.
2 separate reports of groups of American-bound Syrians have been detained below the U.S. border. 5 Syrians were arrested by Honduran authorities on Tuesday trying to head to the U.S. with stolen Greek passports, and 2 Syrian families were taken into custody at a border checkpoint in Texas. These incidents came less than a week after the attack in Paris, and as President Obama and lawmakers were debating admitting Syrian refugees.
Two middle schools in Richland, too, postponed a trip to Washington, D.C. after threats of terror attacks to the nation's capital. 126 students, plus chaperones and teachers, were scheduled to travel to D.C. on Tuesday. But the decision to cancel the trip was made on Monday after parents and administrators expressed concerns. Summit Park principal Joe Burke said in an email to parents that the trip would be postponed because safety is always a top priority. They plan to reschedule the trip at a time with less safety concerns. The schools say they have received positive feedback from parents.
In light of the recent Paris attacks, some stadiums in the U.S. are increasing security for this weekend's games. The Carolina Panthers and the Clemson Tigers announced there will be an increase of police officers outside entry gates and many behind-the-scene officers. Fans can expect thorough bag inspections and limited re-entry points. Both teams encourage fans to arrive early and leave unnecessary bags at home.
We've been seeing some gloomy weather recently, and with some holiday events going on later tonight, let's check in with our weather specialist, Blake Lipton, to see what we can expect over the next couple of days. Blake?
Thanks, Madison. All that rainy and cloudy weather we've been seeing over the past couple days, gone. It's going to be nice and clear for the lighting of the tree tonight and Vista Lights. It's going to get a little colder later on into next week. Highs in the 50s and getting low as in the 20s. I'll tell you more about it later on in weather.
Today's rain is not helping the already long list of repairs needed to get back to Columbia back to normal. The damages from the historic floods are now estimated at $130 million. Mayor Steve Benjamin met with local lawmakers yesterday to present a list of project repairs. At least $50 million will be needed to repair the
National
Columbia
Guard
Canal
members
alone.
worked well into the
FEMA has already committed to help the city pay 3/4 of the repairs.
South Carolina officials say the state's estimated cost of agricultural loss from last month's flooding has almost doubled. State Agriculture Commissioner Hugh Weathers originally estimated $300 million in losses, but on Wednesday, officials from his agency said the actual total is $587 million. South Carolina has requested the federal government to declare an agricultural disaster in the state that would provide federal aid to farmers. For assistance and questions, farmers should contact the state FSA office at 803-806-3820. The excessive rain that the Midlands has experienced over the past few months have caused a lot of farmers trouble. The rain has not only taken a toll on crops, but on bees as well. On average, South Carolina receives about 4 inches of rain between October and November. This year, we've received over 20 inches of rain between the 2 months. With all the rain, the bees are unable to go out and pollinate plants, forcing beekeepers to create sugar water to supplement their food supply, a process beekeeper Danny Cannon is familiar with.
It rains for a couple days, wash the pollen and nectar out. Comes sunny for a day or so, the bees try to get out, but then the rain comes back. And so it's been a negative cycle for the bees of trying to gather food for the winter because it keeps getting washed out.
Cannon says he's trying to save as many hives as possible.
Oliver Gospel Mission will have to reach into their operating funds due to a lack of donations for their Thanksgiving box program. The mission usually processes 300 needy families a box of food for Thanksgiving, which includes a turkey, pie, mac and cheese, peas, stuffing, yams, and cranberries. When they reached their deadline on Wednesday morning, they only had 20 of the 300 turkeys they needed and 40 of the 600 boxes of stuffing. If you would like to donate to cover the cost of their boxes, visit their website at olivergospelmission.org. With the approaching holidays, many flood victims are wondering how they will prepare their holiday meals. One church has stepped up their efforts to meet the new demand with their food pantry. Melanie Thompson tells us how one group of people comes together to help others.
Rosewood Baptist Church is a tight-knit group of people that enjoy helping others. The church has run a food pantry for the last 5 years, and realizing that with the recent flooding, there is an increased need in the community.
This was a key place for disaster relief. They had a shelter here for a period, and we have tons of stuff left over from the disaster that we're giving out, and we've opened the food bank a few extra days in the past few weeks to accommodate those in need.
Schultz estimates they are able to help 12 to 15 people on a daily basis. Deborah Mims is out seeking help today. Mims says portions of her home were damaged by the flooding. She takes care of her grandmother, and
I'm disabled and I needed to come and get some food to hold me over to the first of the month.
Frank Smith is a church volunteer and helps Mims start the process to get help. Smith has only been a member of Rosewood for 1 year, but likes volunteering because it gives him an opportunity to talk to people about Christ and
find out more about their lives, invite them to come to church, and just concerned about people. I like helping people.
And that's just what Smith did today. He, along with others, was able to get Mims the food she needed. After less than an hour, Mims was on her way. She walked out the door with a bag of groceries and was very appreciative, saying
that they are truly a blessing, and they have been a blessing to all South Carolinians that have come here for help. And thank God for them being here for us, because we really do need help, and they haven't turned anyone down since I've been here.
Melanie Thompson, Carolina News.
These donations are made possible by contributions from the South Carolina Cooperative Program, a coalition of local churches, businesses, and Rosewood's own financial contributions. For those that lost everything in the flooding, St. Joseph's Catholic Church is looking to help through the House in a Box program. The church was teamed up with the Society of St. Vincent de Paul for the program, which helped 15,000 families around New Orleans during Hurricane Katrina. The program will provide new furniture to families, including beds, dressers, sofas, and more. St. Joseph's is looking to help at least 1,000 homeowners in the Midlands. The church is accepting donations through its GoFundMe page at the web address on your screen. We will put that link back up at the end of the show as a reminder.
When we come back, find out how the tiger for USC's annual burning ritual is made. We'll be right back.
One of my biggest passions in life is animals. That's why I've worked with Morris Animal Foundation for over 40 years. Morris Animal Foundation is a world leader in helping animals live longer, healthier lives. You can too. Just show your support at morrisanimalfoundation.org.
To help cats, dogs, horses, and wildlife live healthier lives, visit morrisanimalfoundation.org, where we are advancing science that will create a healthier tomorrow for animals.
I wanted to be in the military since I was a kid.
I served a total of 16 years.
And at 19 years old, that's the first time I ever saw somebody die.
Coming back, I was raging.
I started having pretty horrible nightmares.
I started drinking a lot.
I guess I never recognized it in myself.
It all starts with going to the VA. There's a whole community of veterans that just want to help you out.
It's for the guys who couldn't come back, so you owe it to them to live well, because they're not here with their families.
USC's annual Tiger Burn is a Gamecock tradition, but some may not recognize all the work that goes into building the actual tiger. Our own Jeremy Urso goes beyond the burning to find out the tiger's origins.
All USC traditions start somewhere, and in the case of USC's annual Tiger Burn, that somewhere is in a warehouse near campus. Cage 7 is this tiger's home, and although he isn't quite put together yet, he'll be one step closer to looking more like a tiger by the end of the night. In fact, this tiger doesn't even have a name. It's simply referred to as...
This is the Beat Clemson tiger. That's about it.
It's the American Society of Mechanical Engineers that is responsible for building the structure. But these students aren't building this 30-foot giant because they have to for a class. They're simply building it because it's just fun.
Our present to Clemson, since we're good at wrapping, we're wrapping them a present and we're burning it.
More than a month's work goes into building a structure that'll burn down in just a few minutes, but the organization's president says it's all worth it for the Gamecock fans.
It's really awesome. It kind of stinks that it lasts 2 minutes. All this work lasts 2 minutes, but at the same time, we're doing it for a good cause, try to get fans out there, and this is full rivalry week.
Senior Cody Wilkins, who designed this year's Tiger back in October, says seeing the Tiger go up in flames creates a little bit of mixed feelings for him.
It's kind of the ends, especially for us seniors. That's the last thing we'll do pretty much is light off the tiger. So we see the ends right there and we're done. It's just like a relief, happiness seeing it go off right, and then the excitement just seeing it go in flames like that. It just takes a couple seconds and it's engulfed. So it's a whole bunch of mixed feelings at once.
The Tiger isn't done yet, but with teamwork by the ASME students, it'll be ready by Monday. Jeremy Urso, Carolina News.
Thanks, Jeremy. The Tiger Burn is this Monday at 5:30 p.m. at the Green Street Intramural Fields. University of South Carolina students looking to go to the Clemson-Carolina game will need to request their tickets a little earlier. Today is the day to request tickets, actually, over a week before the game. Typically, students request tickets the Monday and Tuesday before the game, but students must request their tickets by 5 p.m. tomorrow for the Clemson game. Student Ticket Services says this is so students can make plans to come back from Thanksgiving break and because the office is closed for the holiday.
With just 1 week until Thanksgiving, holiday shopping is upon us. One consumer watchdog group released a list of what they think are the most hazardous toys this shopping season. Among the toys are guns that have a strikingly similar look to real guns. They also include toys that are choking or strangulation hazards. Gudo also made the list because of allergy issues. The group Watch says to make sure you read labels and be cautious this season. And you might want to start that shopping soon. Amazon will start their Black Friday deals tomorrow. Deals will be announced every 5 minutes for the next 7 days. The company is pushing consumers to use their mobile apps, even offering special deals only on the apps.
It's time to check in once again with our weather guru, Blake Lipton, who's out in front of the State House. What can you tell us about the weather, Blake?
Thanks. I'm out here amongst a sea of umbrellas right now for National Hospice Month. You're not going to need any one of these anytime soon. I'll tell you about the clear conditions we're expecting in the next couple days, coming up next in weather.
One of my biggest passions in life is animals. That's why I've worked with Morris Animal Foundation for over 40 years. Morris Animal Foundation is a world leader in helping animals live longer, healthier lives. You can too. Just show your support at morrisanimalfoundation.org.
To help cats, dogs, horses, and wildlife live healthier lives, visit morrisanimalfoundation.org, where we are advancing science that will create a healthier tomorrow for animals.
I wanted to be in the military since I was a kid.
I served a total of 16 years.
And at 19 years old, that's the first time I ever saw somebody die.
Coming back, I was raging.
I started having pretty horrible nightmares.
I started drinking a lot.
I guess I never recognized it in myself.
It all starts with going to the VA. There's a whole community of veterans that just want to help you out.
It's for the guys who couldn't come back, so you owe it to them to live well, because they're not here with their families.
Blake, I'm so happy the rain's going away. What else is going on in weather?
Well, it's going to start to clear up over the next couple days. A little rain earlier on today, but that shouldn't be too much of a factor over this weekend. But looking at the current conditions right now here in Columbia, we got nice 73 degrees, partly cloudy outside. The sun was trying to come out a little earlier in the day, but didn't quite make it. But we should see it a little bit tomorrow. Humidity at 76% and winds at west-northwest at 7 miles per hour. Moving to the current temperatures in the state, pretty much the same around the board here. Greenville, 75 along the coast, pretty much the same, 73 in Charleston, 75 in Hilton Head. And what we're going to see over the next couple days is that rain that was here earlier on in the morning, it's going to start to make its way up the coast, bringing all that precipitation we saw earlier with it. There's going to be a cold front that's following right behind, which is why we'll see some colder temperatures in the next couple days. Now, if we turn to the west of the country right here, there's a high pressure making its way across the country, which is going to keep it relatively clear over the next couple days. And heading into tomorrow, we'll start to see this low pressure forming over here along the middle of the country. That's going to start to make its way right behind this high. We may see a couple showers on Saturday going into Sunday, but shouldn't be too much, mostly clear for the rest of the day. High also going to bring some colder weather down and keep it relatively cool here in the Midlands. Looking at tonight's lows, 48 in Columbia, 44 in Greenville, and 45 in Rock Hill, and a little warmer along the coast as it always is, 55 in Charleston and 57 in Hilton Head. Moving in tomorrow, it's going to get a little colder, 67 in Columbia here, low 60s in Greenville and Rock Hill, and a little warmer along the coast, Charleston, Hilton Head, 66. Moving into our 5-day forecast here, as we said, Friday supposed to look Pretty clear tomorrow. Saturday, some partly cloudy for game day. That rain should hold off until the evening. It's going to be a little cooler, starting to drop into the 50s. And then on Monday and Tuesday, it's going to clear back up, but get a little chillier in the mornings, 28 degrees and 27 on Monday. So relatively clear conditions, but getting a little colder as we head into next week, guys.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that the rain's going to hold off till Sunday, so the football game should be nice.
Absolutely shouldn't be a problem at all. So get out there and tailgate and do whatever you got to do.
Nice. Well, although the Gamecocks had a tough loss against the Florida Gators, they are looking forward and preparing for a solid Citadel football team. Stay tuned and we will tell you what Deke Adams has the defensive line doing to stop the Bulldogs.
Some people might think that Adrian would never be able to go to college like his brother, or achieve his dream of being an actor. We couldn't disagree more. We're the ARC, and we believe everyone should have the opportunity to realize their full potential. The ARC stands up for those in need, advocating for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities.
I want to be a professional actor.
So they can be anything they want to be. If you need help, or if you want to help, visit us at www.thearc.org.
I've got my own problems to worry about. Those people in Africa don't want to help themselves. What's the point? Where's the proof? Actually, SMART programs are saving lives. In just 10 years, over 15 million more kids are alive. All for less than 1% of the total U.S. budget. How's that for proof? And today there are new vaccines that could save millions of more kids. Go to one.org and join the movement. We're not asking for your money. We're asking for your voice.
Hello, I'm Dr. Regina Benjamin, U.S. Surgeon General. Breastfeeding is a preventive measure that can protect babies from illnesses and infections, and there are also health benefits for mothers. While 75% of American mothers start out breastfeeding, only 13% of babies are exclusively breastfed at the end of 6 months, and the rates are much lower for African American infants. Whether you're a grandmother or an employer, you can help make it easier for moms to breastfeed. For more information, please go to surgeongeneral.gov.
This neighborhood sure has changed a lot over the years. You know, there was a time when people like me couldn't live here. I will never forget being told I wasn't welcome in this neighborhood. Well, I own this building now. The Fair Housing Act made a difference for someone like me, so I can choose where I want to live, free from discrimination. Glad you could make it. Right this way.
Olivia, I really thought we were going to pull out a win with Florida. How do you think it's going to look with Citadel?
Yeah, I heard they're a pretty good team this year.
Yeah, they really are. But although the Gamecocks are not bowl eligible, they are still determined to play their best and continue to prepare for Citadel's triple option. Defensive line coach Deke Adams explains what they are working on to stop the run.
Well, I mean, it's a little bit different than what we've been doing. You know, you gotta deal with cut blocks all the time and different things like that. But you know, I think as long as the kids just play hard, keep their pads down, and play with their hands like we've been doing, and we'll be fine.
Yeah, Coach Elliott mentioned today about
the Citadel Bulldogs are 7-3, and for the first time since 1992, are sharing the SoCon title. But let's take a look at the last time we played them in 2011, when we had Connor Shaw and Alshon Jeffrey. Connor Shaw takes the snap, breaks through the line, running itself, and finds the gap. 30, 20, 10, 60-yard touchdown, Connor Shaw. Later, Shaw steps back into the pocket, launches it left side, jump ball, one-handed touchdown, Alshon Jeffrey. Gamecocks won that game 41-20. Hopefully this Saturday we can get another exciting game. Be sure to watch on SEC Network at noon. Now let's move over to our women's basketball team who played at Clemson last night. The number 2 Gamecocks struggled early in the game with putting points on the board. This is Elena Coates who dumps it off to Asia Wilson. Misses the easy layup. Coates gets the rebound, misses again. Now the girls only scored 15 points in the first quarter and only shot 20% from the floor in the first half. The girls turned it around in the second half, shooting 75%. And there's Cuevas with a little teardrop shot for 2. The Gamecocks pulled out the win 61-41, but Coach Dawn Staley was not happy with her team after the game.
We just weren't happy with the uninspired play. Just for the entire 40 minutes. I know there was, spurts where we looked, decent, but overall, I just didn't like the effort that we got.
Well, they might be having a tough practice today, but the girls will be away for their next 4 games, and we will be back home on December 5th against Duke. Until then, everyone should come out tonight to the men's soccer game as they host the first round of the NCAA tournament against Furman. The Gamecocks played Furman in August in an exhibition game and won 2-1. South Carolina dominated the entire game and had many chances to put the ball in the back of the net, but failed to execute until Lamero centers to Turner for the goal. Then Turner again when Burnett passes to Turner with his second goal to win the game. So, yeah, it was a really nasty game earlier in August, but hopefully that it will be a great game tonight.
I know. The team went undefeated at home this season, so hopefully they can keep that streak going.
Furman had 2 yellow cards against them when they played us here in August, so it should be a pretty tough match.
Aggressive.
Good. I'm excited to see what the outcome is. Well, coming up, how one woman's broken engagement led to a party and what she did with this dress.
Between the creases.
It is important for young people to have a mentor in their life.
I would definitely say that I have had an impact on his life and he's had an impact on my life.
One of the most important lessons that I've learned from Charlie is to make better decisions and take responsibility for what you're gonna do.
Think about what you would be today if people didn't go a step out of their way to help you out. And that's really what it's all about.
So get involved and do your part. Invest in the future. Mentor a child.
What if you could ignite your child's love of learning with one after-school program? What if that one program was easy and fun? Destination Imagination is the one. Destination Imagination has taught teamwork, creativity, and problem solving for more than 25 years. A major university study showed our students are ahead of others in creativity and critical thinking. Learn more at startateam.org and make Destination Imagination the one for you.
You can't text and pay attention to the world around you, and you definitely can't text and drive. Every year, deaths due to distracted and negligent driving are increasing. In fact, while drunk driving rates have dropped greatly, negligent driving fatalities have skyrocketed. Find out more at negligentdriving.com.
One Florida woman turns being left at the altar into a party. Kylie Maniluk's fiance called off their wedding in a text message just days before the ceremony. After planning to walk down the aisle for 2 years in her dream dress, Maniluk decided she couldn't just return the dress. Her and her bridesmaids went to the Color Fest in Tampa dressed to impress. Her white gown was covered in yellow and blue paint, even going on stage in front of the crowd. Talk about moving on.
Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy.
What are the odds that the Color Fest was the same time that the wedding was?
2 years, that's a long time to be engaged.
Well, Blake, let's take one more look at the weather.
Yeah, let's take one more look at that 5-day forecast. Relatively clear throughout the week. A little chance of showers on Saturday and Sunday. Going to get a little cooler as we move into next week. Starting to get highs in the 50s and lows in the 20s for 2 of those days. So.
Good. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks so much for being with us.
See you tomorrow. Have a great evening.